Hello and welcome to our last episode of the Crisis of the West. This one is certainly the most fun one. I'm going to talk about solutions, simple solutions. This is why I have the green one, the green pen and not the red one. Let me start off with our own work with Transatlantika. In the past couple of years, we have developed several different formats for different kinds of audiences. In order to sort of, based on this analysis, make kind of figure out ways to remedy the situation, right? So if maybe you're familiar with The Cable, our online magazine, that's a media publication, right? We want to show that we can still have sort of independent, free-thinking media that actually talks about not just what they want to talk about, but what they hear from people on the street. This is what we've done also with our project, Why Trump? You might have seen the book on our website, or maybe you have purchased it already. By the way, you can't get it on Amazon. But what we tried to show there is we talked to individual people in order to open up this part again. Some of the people were very suspicious at first. They were very skeptical that somebody would actually listen to them, that somebody would actually really truthfully communicate their point of view. This is what our book, Why Trump, does, right? And it was consciously an effort to strengthen this part, communication between people, right? The book was not just a book, it was the practice of actually making change come true. So the forum, similar, our discussion forum, what we're trying to show there, it's basically illustrating how debate works, right? How you can respectfully disagree with other people in society without treating them like evil people, right? This is why we specifically discuss issues like immigration or US foreign policy or Trump's tenure, because those are very divisive issues. That's what sort of is dividing our societies. And we want to show that debate and discussion about these issues is possible. We have developed a format for young people, for students at the high school and university level, called the Democracy Practice. That's where we have one session where students basically get an interview from our book, Why Trump, take the position of an interviewee and sort of argue from their perspective. That sort of changing or taking perspectives of other people is crucial for a healthy democracy, right? Again, it strengthens this here. We're getting out of our bubble. We're becoming one again, one society where we respect and accept that other people have opinions we might not like, but we learn how to see them through their eyes. That format, the Democracy Practice, we also conducted that in Berlin in a high school and here in Cologne with people with migrant backgrounds. And there we kind of practice actual deliberation, right? We all worked through this model here, through this problem. They were like, I think the youngest student was 17, and they were all really engaged. And then we discussed issues, current events, like what's going on in Palestine and Israel, what's going on there, so that we practice actual discussion of difficult topics, right? It's actually not that hard. That's why I'm saying simple solutions. And then we also try to do some very sort of simple exercise. We have done a walking group, a hiking group, right? Where we wanted people to sort of get away from their tech, from their screens, maybe go to nature, take a break from all the news, from all the scandals, from all the disasters, from all the crises, And this was also the motivation for the retreat series, The Good Places, that we did. We wanted people to get out of the crisis mode and sort of come back to themselves and see that, hey, there's a world out there, a real world, not on my screen, an actual world built by people and sort of existing in the form of nature. And it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and we don't have to constantly be angry, upset, sad, or depressed. Because this is the thing about the crisis of the West. It makes us sick, kind of in a psychological way and emotional ways, but also in real physical ways, right? We sit too much, we spend too much time in front of screens, and there's a whole feedback loop between mind, body, and soul that is responsible for the fact that many people are not feeling very well these days. And this is all related to the crisis of the West. Now, I gotta be honest, we also hit some roadblocks. And the most important roadblock, in a way, is due to this problem, due to the colonization of the life world. It has been very difficult for us to reach people. And reaching people, when we talk with them in person, when we meet with you and have a discussion, we will agree and we will have a great, very productive and constructive discussion about these issues. But reaching people online is very, very difficult. That's obviously due to the information overload that we're all subject to. We're watching too much stuff, too much irrelevant stuff. And so it's very difficult to cut through the noise. But it's also a part of what I called in an article on the cable, the dissolution of the individual, right? Market and state, and also our government leaders in many ways, don't treat us anymore as individuals. We don't treat each other as individuals. What we see is voting patterns, sort of behaviors, things like that sort of fall into certain categories, into certain little tiny boxes, right? And this makes it very difficult to reach people because people are different, right? They're not predictable, they're unique, they're unpredictable. So in the end, however, we're still hopeful. And we still think that there is a chance to reverse this whole process. And the reason for that is that we're first of all, very optimistic. And second of all, we have full trust in you who's watching this video right now. And when you talk about systemic processes, like this millions of people, and then we all throw our hands up in the air and we're like, oh, how is this ever going to change? Can't change the system. What can I do, me, little tiny Tim, to change anything in this world? Well, let me tell you, you can change a lot. You know, it's like that little stone you flick into the river, or better, into the lake, and it causes ripples. And this was in the foreword of the Portable Henry David Thoreau book, who was basically an example of this. Henry David Thoreau was basically walking a lot of time, spending a lot of time in nature, and he made a huge impact in his society and throughout history. You don't have to become famous to do that. You yourself can make a difference. You yourself can make change happen. Right? What you need to do is decolonize your life. Put the phone away more often than not, right? Try to regain sort of your autonomy, become independent again. Don't rely on everything on the economy or the state. Go out again. It's very simple, and talk to people. And maybe try to talk to people where you know there's gonna be difference of opinions, right? Get out of your bubble. I don't have to tell you really to be skeptical of what the media is reporting. Most importantly, maybe don't constantly sit in front of a screen. Don't constantly watch the news. Just go out, take a walk, go in the forest, take a deep, deep breath. Make sure you stay healthy and be an example for others. That's going to be the change. I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did. Maybe you want to join us at Transatlantika. You can do so at transatlantika.com, or you can find the cable on Substack, our magazine. It's free. You can also make a contribution. That would be also great. But first and foremost, we hope that this helped you sort of make some sense of the world we're living in, a very, very messy world. And to maybe you will come up with your own solutions for your own ways of decolonizing your life and regaining your freedom, and maybe even contribute to the project that we call the West. And yes, so thank you and goodbye.